Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of Brews and Barbecue. If I'm talking a little bit quiet, it's because it's the middle of the night. I just got my Umai dry bags shipped in tonight and I just got off of work, but I couldn't wait any longer to put this video out, so we're doing it now. If you guys don't already know by the title, we're going to be dry aging a USDA Prime Brisket, like something we've never done before. Enough talking, guys. We're going to be doing enough talking throughout this video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, stick around. You might enjoy what you see, but without further ado, let's jump right into the video. It's easy for me to say that dry aging has become one of my passions. Today's dry age, we're going to be using this USDA Prime Brisket. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Pacific Northwest thing, but it's tough to find a big brisket. This one here is 12 pounds, but it does have a nice chunk of fat here. And if you flip it over, there's got a nice fat cap. This is going to come in handy when we're dry aging to minimize the loss we have. First and foremost, we want to work with a clean surface. I would normally use saran wrap, but I learned from Guga's channel that we can also use aluminum foil. So we're going to put out a couple of sheets here so we have a clean surface to work with. I always like to smooth out my aluminum foil so that it doesn't get stuck in the vacuum sealer, nor will it get stuck to the meat as we're trying to transfer it over. The other thing you want to make sure is you want to put on some gloves or wash your hands with warm soapy water. This will prevent you getting any external bacteria or any nonsense that you don't want getting into the bag. You're also going to want to wash the outside of the packaging and make one small incision on the front or the back of the brisket so that you can get a nice clean transfer. After you've made your opening, you're going to want to make sure you dump out any excess blood that's still left in the cryovac bag. And now for the star of the show, the Umai dry bag. The Umai dry bag is not necessarily a bag. I would consider it more of a membrane. This membrane actually allows you to be able to dry age in the comfort of your own home without needing any special equipment for your refrigerator. The way the Umai dry bag works is it actually lets moisture come out of the bag, but none of your odors from your refrigerator come in or any bad bacteria that we don't want. Fold over a lip so that it makes a clean transfer when we're putting our brisket in. We want to use a clean transfer method, and you're going to want to slide your Umai dry bag over your brisket and kind of work the brisket into the bag. If you need to make an incision down the bag, I highly recommend it just so that it makes for an easier transfer. After you've gotten your cut in there, you're going to see why this lip came in handy. There's virtually no moisture on the lip of this bag, which is going to come in handy when we're vacuum sealing. A critical component to using this bag is making sure you push over to one edge. This is going to get you a better seal and contact point with the bag. Now with this brisket bag, it's a little too big for my vacuum sealer. So if you have a vacuum sealer that's 12 inches wide, you're definitely going to want to dog ear one of the corners of it. Unfortunately for me, my vacuum sealer is just not big enough to handle that bigger bag. Luckily for me, I had some smaller Umai dry bags that this brisket fit into. When vacuum sealing this bag, there's going to be two components that you want to do. The first is going to be scrunch up the end so you give it some texture, and two, adding those vac mouses. Those are going to come in handy because this isn't a traditional vacuum sealing bag. There's no texture to the bag that helps it suck out the air. So in order to assist the bag in sucking out the air, you're going to want to massage out any air pockets that you find to get it out of the Umai dry bag. If your vacuum sealer has a moist setting, that's going to come in handy. The next thing you want to do after your initial seal is give it a secondary seal. The last thing you want to do is for one of those seals to fail and the bag to start taking on air. That's going to ruin your Umai dry bag experience. On my last video, I got a lot of questions, and I've seen this come up a lot in other YouTubers that have tried this. You will never be able to get all of the air out of this bag. You want to make sure you have as much contact as possible, but there's going to be some of these ends where you can't remove all the air. That's not a problem. You want to make sure you put it on a cooling rack to get full circulation. And the last thing to do is dry age it for 45 days. And here's a result after 45 days. Man, am I amazed on how it turned out. This thing is definitely a little firm to the touch, and the fat cap itself is hard as a rock. I can't wait to see how this turns out after we trim it. And now there was some air pockets that were still left, but by the looks of it, it looks like we still got a good dry age. There's only one way to find out, and that's by starting to trim it down. You're going to want a really sharp knife for this, so I'm choosing my 10-inch butcher knife that was gifted to me on my birthday. Again, you want to make an incision in front of the bag, and you're going to want to start disconnecting the membrane from the brisket itself. And man, did we get some good contact on it. Although we had those air pockets, we still had a good amount of contact, and we're going to make an incision down the middle to pull out the brisket a lot easier. After pulling it out, I was amazed by the results. Let me show you guys a closer look of what we're dealing with here. There does appear to be a bit of white mold on it, but that's not to worry. That's typical when you're dry aging. The one thing you want to look out for is green mold. But if you feel the brisket itself, it is definitely soft and oily to the touch. So we're going to start removing our first piece here and take a look at what it looks like underneath. After removing my first piece, I was amazed at the result. It looks like that cherry red that we're used to seeing. The same results that I got with my New York Striploin. It looks amazing. And if you actually touch the brisket itself, it is extremely soft to the touch. You want to continue trimming all of this off. Normally you would think you don't want to trim all of this stuff off your brisket, but this pellicle will taste no good on the brisket itself. You can use this for something else, and if you feel this thing, man, is it soft and tender. I'm really excited for this one, so we're going to finish trimming up this brisket and get her on the smoker. And if you're at all curious as what you can do with this pellicle, you can actually grind this guy up with some chuck and make the most delicious dry aged burgers you're ever going to have. After we're done trimming the brisket, this is kind of what it looks like. And trust me, I heard you guys. We're going to keep the seasoning simple with some salt and some fresh ground black pepper. After you've added all your seasonings, you want to make sure you give it a good pat down. And the last thing we're going to do after we pat it down is let it dry brine overnight so it soaks up all the seasoning. Alright guys, so we've reached the internal temperature that we need. Sorry if the audio is a little crummy. I don't have the mic put onto the camera right now, but we got a handy dandy cutting board. Shout out to Jacob for that. But we're going to set this guy down, and we're dripping a little bit of water here, so let's get this thing off of the smoker quick and go inside. Let's take a peek at this thing. Alright guys. So I took the top foil off a little bit so we can build a little bit of that crust. But the first order of business is we want to get this thermometer out so that when we transfer it over, we don't have nothing holding it up. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Alright. Look at that, guys. Oh man. Alright guys, let's get it inside and cut this brisket up. Alright guys, so it's ready to go, and you guys saw me cutting this thing up. It was just gushing, and that's the last thing I would expect from a dry aged brisket, because I mean it lets out a lot of moisture, so you wouldn't expect it to just be gushing like this thing is, and it's amazing. It's I can't even explain it. So what we're gonna do to keep it fair is we're gonna try one of the pieces from the flat and then one from the point. And we're just gonna give it a taste test and see what we think, not you guys think. Oh my goodness. Look at this. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's cut a couple pieces up. And then I'm gonna let AJ do the honors here and try the first piece, because he bought me this this 10-inch butcher knife, so go for it, brother. This point is, or the flat's supposed to be the drier piece, so.
That's the drier piece?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I can't do
That's
it.
pretty damn good. That just falls apart, man.
Oh man.
Definitely gonna, yeah, definitely.
Do that. Oh man, guys. And we got some of these juices that came out. The foil had a slight hole in it, so a lot of the juices after I wrapped it to get it up to temperature fell out, but that's a little bit of what we got. So we had a stall at about 165, 166, so we decided to do the Texas Crunch, wrap it in some foil, got it up to the temperature we needed, and man, it paid off. Describe it and then we'll munch out.
Definitely ready to munch out.
For the point, I'm gonna do a little dip back here.
Let's
This might be a little unfair because we're dipping, but look at the smoke ring on that thing. Hopefully that focuses in.
I'm not waiting, sorry.
Look at that smoke ring.
Oh,
This guy's now a little
now
fattier piece.
that's definitely what I like.
That is pretty dang good.
Adds so much flavor in there, man.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, love.
Oh man. Well, hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you smash that subscribe button and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. We're going to be dry aging a lot more stuff and making my wife mad because we're taking up refrigerator space. But it's just so dang good. I think we're going to do a ribeye loin next. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch you guys on another episode of Brews and Barbecue. We're going to keep munching out. We'll see you guys later.